Very good morning, dear students. Today we'll be talking about principles of tooth preparation. So basically, when we are going for fixed partial dentures, we are taking support from the existing abutments, that is the remaining teeth, natural teeth. So there are certain principles which we need to follow so that the preparation is optimum and the patient has a prosthesis which will last for a lifetime, if not for a lifetime, at least for 15 or 20 years without any much of issues pertaining to that restoration. So this topic is very important as far as fixed partial dentures is concerned. So basically the principles are divided into 5. Preservation of tooth structure, retention and resistance form, structural durability, marginal integrity, and preservation of periodontia. So it is under this 5 topics that we are going to cover the principles of tooth preparation. Coming to the first principle, the preservation of tooth structure. Like Divan has stated previously that preservation of what remains is more important than the meticulous reconstruction of that which is lost. So God-given natural teeth, it has to be preserved. So unless we follow the preparation protocols, you may over-prepare the natural teeth, which in turn may become non-vital, and later on it may require root canal. So we have to know how to preserve the tooth structure. At the same time, it has to have enough clearance for the fixed partial denture to sit on. So whenever we are going to prepare the tooth structure, we have to make sure that the strength of the tooth is not compromised. Because the more the tooth structure you reduce, the weaker the tooth becomes. Also, it is not mandatory that we have to prepare all the 5 surfaces of the natural teeth. For examples, if the situation does not demand a full coronal preparation, we can go for inlay or onlay, covering only certain aspects of that particular tooth. So according to the clinical situation, we have to go for an optimum tooth preparation. Coming to the next principle, the retention and resistance form. The fixed partial denture which you're going to give to the patient is going to deal with a lot of forces inside the oral cavity, the occlusal forces, the neuromuscular forces. So because of all that, the chances that if your preparation is not optimum, the restoration can fail and it can fall off. So there are certain geometric configurations and principles which we have to take care when we are preparing the tooth structure. So automatically, if the preparation is good, then you can expect good retention and resistance. Retention and resistance coexist together. You cannot separate each one. It goes together, retention and resistance form. Retention means the ability of the process to withstand forces acting away from it, the gravitational forces, etc. Resistance will be ability of the restoration to withstand oblique forces, etc. So how do you achieve good retention for a crown? Optimum retention is obtained by preparing the vertical walls. So we're going to prepare the axial tooth surface and we're going to create walls. So two parallel walls will give you good retention. The more tapering your preparation, the less retention. So ideal taper, what we are looking at is 3 to 6 degree between the opposing walls. So more the taper, the less the retention. And the maximum taper which we can give is usually 22 degree taper. And that too, we may have to go for resin cements and luting such a crown which has got a taper of more than 22 with a normal luting cement will often lead to failure. So less the taper, more the retention. So you can see this is an extracoronal restoration, a normal crown. You can see two parallel walls which we have created that will aid in the retention, better retention. So when you're looking at intracoronal restoration, the walls are created in such a way that we have a wedge type of retention. So this is the taper which we can give. So 10 degree, 15 degree, 20 degree. So more the taper, the less the retention. So this is a graph which shows the retention achieved by your restoration according to the taper given. So you can see retention in grams per millimeter square. We have very good retention of more than 100 when the taper is less than 10. So you can see as you increase the taper, retention also reduces substantially. So you have 3 to 6 degree taper, you have more than 100 grams per millimeter square, and when the retention is taper is more than 20, you can see it has dropped below 50, below 30 also. So you can see as the taper moves beyond 25, retention is coming down drastically. So this is a two crowns we're going to give. You can see the walls are created as far as parallel as possible to each other, so that when the technician fabricates a crown, there are no undesirable undercuts. And fabrication of the restoration, wax pattern, everything will be easy. So this is what we are looking at, ideal taper of 3 degree each. That is giving a preparation 6 degree taper. A taper up to 15 degree is considered safe. Beyond 20 degrees is unfavorable. And 22 degrees maximum taper which you can give. You're considering using of resin cements. Length of the preparation. The more the length of your crown, the coronal tooth structure, the higher will be the retention. As you can see in this picture, where it is a molar preparation, and we can see the first picture, the clinical crown has got longer walls because the height is more clinically. And in the second picture, you can see the height of the crown is shorter. So the axis around which the crown can rotate is different for both. And you can see in the second picture, when occlusal forces or any other dislodging forces happens, easily the crown can come off because the wall does not have enough adequate height, the opposing walls. So the longer walls means better retention.